Welcome then to the Msvt Trackday Championship here at Anglesey. My name is Andy Webster, here to take you through today's proceedings for this fantastic mixed manufacturer and model class here. We've got 4 classes of racing who are judged by brake horsepower per ton. So you can see Class B, the fastest class is 151 to 175 bhp per ton. Next is Class C, 126 to 150. Class D is up to 125 bhp, and we have a G, a guest class, who I think, and certainly according to my my timing screens here, we have no guests on this particular entrance. But this is, as I say, the Anglesey circuit. We are here by the beautiful coastline of Northwest Wales, and we have a absolutely stunning day here at the circuit. Ready to tackle the coastal circuit that takes in some fabulous corners. First off, we go round target as turn 1, usually flat for the majority of races through turn 1, and then we go through the 10 degrees of banking into the extreme left-hand side of the circuit. Then they build the speed for a fantastic run through Church, another very quick corner before getting to absolute top speed down the second straight and passing the school, the racing school on the left, and the coastline as well. Then we head right up the hill. There's extreme elevation change before heading into Rocket In, which is a tight left-hander blind entry over a crest, and then a very quick right-hand hairpin of Rocket Out. They have a short squirt into then the Peel corner, which is a reducing radius right-hander, before then heading down the hill, positioning the car with absolute accuracy to tackle this Laguna Seca style corkscrew that finishes off the lap with just the final corner to go then. And we've seen a number of spins, particularly on the way through the 2 rockets, and coming out of the final corner, strangely, everybody attacking the corkscrew with quite a bit of respect, but we're still under starters orders here. We're still waiting to get our qualifying underway, and but some of the cars that will take part in this one will be the Caterham 7, the Lotus Elise. We have Mazda MX-5s as well that are not taking part in the Miata Trophy. Then we have Clio, Renault Clio. We have Toyota Celica. BMW E30 is also on the list. We have several Ford Fiestas, one Ginetta G40, and then a Honda Civic Type R as well. A BMW E36 328 as well will tackle we have also a single Mini Cooper, a BMW 120D, and an MG ZR as well completes our full list. We have Renault Clios and a Renault Clio 200 tackling the circuit here today. And just waiting then for our drivers to have a look. You can see we have such a beautiful clear day today that you can actually see Snowdonia in the far distance, which I enjoyed driving around far too many times earlier in the week, while using this trip out to Anglesey as a good excuse to enjoy what Wales has to offer in terms of driving roads and enjoyment. But it is a gorgeous day out on the circuit. You can see very little wind. The grass, the long grass there, just quivering slightly, but really I couldn't ask for a better day's racing conditions ahead for our race. Pit and paddock looking resplendent as usual, and this all-new pit and race control building that is class of the field. We're also enjoying no end in absolute comfort here at the Anglesey circuit. Not too long to go before we start our proceedings here for the Trackday Championship. Very large field, and that will feature several different racing teams who are running multiple drivers. We've got the likes of Unique Racing, who will be entering the car 88 and car 89, Mark Russell and Adrian Pottinger. We're going to get, the cars are going to miss out the pit lane and get straight onto the circuit. And there we go then, out on circuit for the start of this qualifying session. McHugh is out there, as well as Hornigold. And then we have Alexander in the Lotus Elise as well on track. They're being released bit by bit on the way through. Several drivers now being told to use the pit lane. So slight change of setup. So most of the field now coming through the pit lane instead. But it looks like car 39, McHugh, is going to be have a really nice run here on his own until he gets to pit exit, where it's going to get very, very busy indeed as this very large field is feeding out. So looks like McHugh is going to be trying to get himself that early fast lap. The track should be in very good condition here. Local time is just 10 to 11, so we will be operating very, very close to full track temperatures. I can see one of the ND class MX-5s that took part as a guest in the Miata Trophy qualifying earlier on is going to take part in the Trackday Championship as well. So looking for a very busy day for that team. But across the line then comes Team Ribera's McHugh and sets a 1:26.921 in the B class. Alexander in the Elise though pips that straight away at 25.729. Here comes the Clio of car 124, Hornigold's car, who manages to post a 1:33.5. Not very representative, I don't imagine, but that is the D class there that they are driving. So Alexander currently heading the field after the first three have come through. Then we get the Mini Cooper, and that Mini Cooper whining away across the start-finish line, car 114. That was Reed to start his first flyer. And what a beautiful view we have of the Corkscrew coming through. And you can just see how busy the Corkscrew gets going down into starting the final corner and being prepared for your full lap. That is the start-finish line that you can see on your screens as they go then through target and heading towards that banked corner. The banking of 10% banking, where you can run side by side, you can go the high route, the low route. You can do a classic racing line as well. It is wide open for the drivers, and then it is just foot to the floor for an entire sector of racing as they head through. The church corner, so named because they've got the church in the sea just over the hill, and we will should be able to see that later on potentially. Then we wind past the commentary position once again on the back straight before heading through the school corner and then braking heavily for that crested blind entry rocket corner. And we wait for the times to come through, and it's rocket out now for the cars on screen at the moment. Car 21. That is Wayne Cockrell, who is just winding through here. Then out of Peel and heading towards the Corkscrew. And you see the compression change for the racers. Not exactly your classic racing line if it were flat, because you've got to set up the car for the remaining corners. Just a sneak preview of the sandy beaches here at Anglesey in the top of screen as we get some movement straight away. And it is car number 138, Alan Bull, who sets the fastest time in the Lotus Elise S1 in the B class, and he goes on a 1:18.755. Then comes Pottinger in the 89 entry Renault Clio. He moves up 7 places to take second place, only by 7 thousandths of a second. Bigger gap though to Alexander in the Elise and McHugh, and then Summers in 5th position at the moment, and trying to find some track position here. We have a field of 25 runners if they all manage to exit the pits in time. Just a 25-minute qualifying session here, so plenty of racing plenty of on-track action to take us through today. It's going to get very, very busy out there. And it's only a 1.55 mile circuit configuration we're racing on the coastal circuit here at Trac Môn. Bull still holds on to that pole position at the moment in the B class. The fastest C class is Donovan in the Toyota Celica. He is on a 1:20.626 at this time. We are waiting for the fastest D class is car 95 in the MX-5, Kelsey Sycamore entry. No major changes. Donovan managed a good time that time, and then Summers in car number 3. Steve Summers takes the provisional pole on a 1:18.571, clearing second position now, Alan Ball, by nearly 0.2 of a second at this early stage of the race, of the qualifying. 1:18.571. Personal bests, though, for Alexander, for me, for Presland, also for Donovan. The Kelsey Sycamore entry, as they get very, very side by side, coming out of the final corner to try and fight for position between classes. That is very, very hairy coming through here. And again, there you see, trying to find that position as they head down towards the banking. They're still fighting. The Ribera car, who was first out on track, managing to claim position there, and a problem, excuse me, a problem for the Celica, who is clearly off track at this current time. And then you can see Clio passing the Elise, sorry, the Ginetta, as they go through. So not every day you'll see that kind of thing happening, but at the Msvt Trackday Championship, it's so much fun. And the performances are so equalised with additional weight and ballast to allow these cars to race so closely together. Again, vying for position going into target for the next laps. It is me in car number 13, Jonathan Mee, who claims provisional pole that time round on the 4th flying lap. It's 1:18.196 from Summers, and then Bull, Pottinger, Alexander and Presland, your top 6 at this time, but a big jump from Jonathan Mee that time round. We have car number 20 crossing the line at the moment. No big improvement that time. That was Alexander in the Black Lotus Elise, and the sun glinting off the blue Elise here, this time of car 3. Currently running in 2nd position, Steve Summers. Get a nice close-up shot of how the car is handling through the rockets on the way out of rocket out and then into Peel, leaning on the left-hand axle, and then they will be heading down the Corkscrew once again, trying to avoid those bollards on the inside, and they run through. Reed has moved up to 11th that time in the Cooper. Car 114. Reed has moved up in the C-Class to P11 overall. Currently fastest C-Class is still the Toyota Celica of Donovan, and he is in P8 right now. Coming through the 666 entry Clio, who has managed to, starting to build the speed. That is Baxter in the Clio 200. Me, though, holding on to the provisional pole position, but a very generous qualifying session in comparison to the rest of our program today, because just indicating just how many runners and riders we have here, as the Ribera entry, who was first out, has come into the pits and is looking for a checkup potentially here. Very good entry-level motorsport here for Msvt's Trackday Championship. Very affordable way in, and you can contact Msvt to find your own place on this fabulous grid. The Tyler entry BMW is flying past my position, car 71, and they are currently, that's the line car of, and they are in Class B. They've managed a 1:22.409. Going round the banked section now is the Tyler BMW. Looking a little bit ponderous, I guess, at the moment through there. And then flat out through Church, and a big move there for car 124 Clio on the Ginetta 33. That Ginetta fairly slow moving at the moment. They're at the tail of the field in Class D. That's Gibson, just building the experience here at a track that many drivers haven't really had a lot of opportunity to race before. There's the other Tyler entry of Hyde in the BMW car 23. That's the BMW E30. Beautiful looking machine out on the racetrack, and great to see a car of that vintage running so well so far. There you can see 112 in the pits, and also 195, one of the MX-5s in the field for this Trackday Championship, flying through as well. There is the Caterham, the lone Caterham of car 2 Ben Grucock's entry. He's in Class B. So far, no changes up at the top of the field. Grucock on P13 currently overall. Fastest lap for Wright in his Fiesta, for Alexander, and for Summers on the last circulation, well, the previous circulation for Summers, who holds on to that second position, but still half a second away from Jonathan Mee, who heads the field on a 1:17.779 with just under 15 minutes to run here in today's session. And there you can see side-by-side action going through the banking. Again, the Ginetta taking the low line to allow the faster runners in the two Elises to come through. Is it Elises or is it Elise? I'm not sure. Car 21 back out on the racetrack and running well. That is, we've got Wayne Cockrell in one of the Celicas. The other Celica, the green and black entry, is still sitting in the pits. We've got several drivers in the pits at the moment, having scheduled tyre changes, possibly even changing drivers, some of them as they run through. But this is a team effort for several of our field here. Running over the start-finish line, we've got the MX-5 coming through, and then the bright green Fiesta of James Hart. That's the Semprini Juniors entry. Oh, massive lick of flame out of the back of the white and black Elise, coming through target as he went off throttle, I think, heading towards the banking now, and very very dramatic looking from the rear. Car 20 going slowly at the moment, unfortunately. So in 5th position at the moment, but that black Elise not looking the best of health right at this second. But we shall continue and keep you updated if we see anything from that. But it does look to be incredibly slow for the 20 entry. That's 68. Possibly just finding some room on the racetrack, actually. Might be about to pick up again, but there we see still not looking good at the moment for Alexander. David Alexander in the Lotus Elise, 2000-year Lotus Elise, racing for another level team, whose teammate Jonathan Mee is on the provisional pole at this time. So that car may cause slower laps for the other drivers around. I didn't see a yellow flag. We are green flag for the continuation of this qualifying session, but yellow flags could happen at any point, as Summers claims the provisional pole, a 1:17.413, good 3.5 gain on Jonathan Mee, who's currently in the pits, not defending that provisional pole, but we still have 12 minutes to go, just under 12 minutes to go. So we are, there's a race control have asked for team managers for cars 39, 20 and 124 to visit race control. We can probably suspect why car 20 is being requested to come in at the moment. It's Summers, Mee, Bull, Pottinger, Alexander and Presland and McHugh in Class B. Class C's lead driver still Donovan in the Celica, and then Kelsey in Class D is all the way up in P9 overall, leading his field. Then we've got Kemp, Cockrell, Wright, Reed, Grucock, Baxter, Connell, Line, Burnham, Dundee and Hyde, your top 20 runners overall, with Mee and McHugh still in the pits. Car number 3 still looking for some position on the racetrack relative to the Elise in front of him. It's not able to find it at the moment, Steve Summers, but clearly the fastest in the field, and looking for that to go even quicker, if at all possible. One of our Fiestas heading out of the banking. And some side-by-side action coming past the start-finish line as the ND Mark IV Lotus Elise gives up track position for a moment. Look at the beautiful location we have here at Anglesey, and some pit stop attention for car 13, who's Jonathan Mee, getting some last-minute advice and changes, some tyre check checks happening. I imagine that's in part just preparing the car and just keeping temperatures within a good operating window. With a longer qualifying session with 10 minutes still to go, there's still plenty of time to reset, reorganize your temperatures and get yourself back out there for another fight. Well, no personal best times forming at the moment. Only Connell in the MX-5, who moved up 2 places in the D class. He moved up to 14th overall. And then out of the final corner they come, the Tyler entry BMW, the bright blue and neon green. Coming through now, I see Summers pits from the lead of the qualifying session, and then David Hyde in the E30 running through the order. Then we see a little bit of an overtake there from the Elise going through the banking on the BMW. And then down through School Corner is next. Here we go. Interesting helmet livery there on board that we see. Car 138 was running very well indeed. 138 currently 3rd in class. Alan Ball in the white Elise with black racing stripes down the bonnet. Let's have a good look. Oh, nice little bit of opposite lock going on in the car there as he fights for adhesion. And the Cooper coming out of corner car 114. That is Chris Reed in the Wolf Motorsport entry Cooper. He is running in Class C overall. Car 20's picked up the pace again and is running okay. Certainly enough to be having a sniff into target for that time, but still at the head of the field with about 7.5 minutes to go is Summers and me and Bolt, then Pottinger, Alexander, Presland and McHugh. In Class C, we've got Donovan, Kemp down in 11th, we've got Cockrell, Reed, Connell in D, and Baxter in C. And then in the Class D, leading the Class D field still, Kelsey in the Mazda MX-5, and we've got Wright in the Fiesta, followed by Burnham, Dundee, Hyde, Hornigold, and Hart. The Celica back out running again, as is car number 3. Steve Summers still leading the field. And again, these scheduled pit stops, scheduled tyre checks just finishing up for car 32. I think that'll be the last of the cars coming out now for their final runs. It doesn't leave you a lot of time to go before the end of the session. Into the pits then comes a couple of drivers. We've got the blue Tyler entry BMW car 71, and we've got car 195 into the pits as well, who's got the Miata Trophy sunstrip on the car as well. The E30's in the pits, so maybe that their day is run at the moment for the qualifying session, down to 6 minutes and just over 6 minutes to run, as they have just a few minutes left now to make this the laps count. Nobody going faster at the moment, but managing their tyre race, their tyre temperatures, I think, for a last real fast push as we go through. Coming out of the final corner, you have car 97. That is Dave Connell in the fabulously named Scuderia Dave entry. And two of our hot hatches battling hard here. That's car 38, Henry Wright or Kevin Glover. I think one or the other have taken on this Anglesey coastal circuit at the point, and it's very, very busy down in the final corner as well, as cars looking for that little bit of clear air to try and find their best run opportunity. Coming through there, you can see just how tight it gets coming out, and that's a move to the outside of the banking for the Ginetta again, trying to stay predictable, trying to allow drivers to come through, but Steve Summers still holds provisional pole position here in car number 3 in the Lotus Elise S1, the bright blue entry from car number 13, Jonathan Mee. And then we have Alan Bull and car 89, Adrian Pottinger, in one of the unique racing entries, who's in 4th position overall. It's Alexander Preslin McHugh finishing out the fastest Class B, with Grucock down in 9th. In between them, though, Donovan still in 8th, leading the Class C in the Toyota Celica. Down to nearly 4 minutes to run here in the session. So last opportunities to run. Fastest lap that time from Baxter, from Connell in the MX-5, and from Wells in the other MX-5 as well. So looks like this tail end of the session suiting the Mazdas. There is 138. Alan Bull looking for room down into target and not being given it from the bright blue and neon green BMW entry. You can see the ND MX-5, the Mark IV. And then we're back in the pits then, looking at the Caterham car number 2 of Ben Grucock. Last bits of advice. Oh no, that's actually race control, I think, with a hand on the shoulder. So race control having a word in the ear, it looks like. So yeah, a small warning perhaps for the Caterham entry. Yeah, hand on the shoulder suggests possibly a little bit of a dressing down going on in the cars. This is a new circuit for the majority of racers, and they're just learning their limits through testing yesterday, but that continues in qualifying today. So just a word to the wise, I think, as car 138 finally clears past the BMW. Alan Bull has had a torrid time trying to clear that BMW in the Elise. It's not doing either of them any favours here at the moment with this particular run. They'll be, and the BMW, smoking in the front left, heading through the corkscrew. Alan Bull trying to get that switchback done. He's putting the nose up the inside into the final corner. These guys are racing as if it's the race, but they're actually just costing each other tyre temperature and brake temperatures, particularly on that BMW front axle, as they try to find some time. It looks like a little bit of a rivalry going on. Alan Bull running super wide then, trying to split apart the slower running hot hatch as they run through. Cars 30 and 32 having transponder issues at the moment. Summers still leads though with 2 minutes on the clock. This battle, I'm looking forward to seeing these two on track later on, because it looks like this one is not going the way that they would have hoped. As I say, it looks like Alan Bull might have this a big wide moment for Alan Bull, who's tried to create some room now, and maybe it's just taken his attention slightly off his racing run as he goes 4 wheels off the circuit, and he's all over the shop trying to get back, as he's clearly suffering some tyre temperature issues. No fastest laps inside the top 12 that time round, with 1.5 minutes to go. The final laps will be starting very, very shortly. The Caterham finally back on track, getting a move done through the banking on the MX-5 Mark IV. As you can see, the Celica still circulating and trying to build the fastest laps, but under a minute to go now. Shortly, I should say, the last laps starting. That is line in the Tyler Motorsports BMW, who has finally got some breathing room in his mirrors. In fact, Alan Bull might be headed into the pits, because looks to be going incredibly slowly. Yes, in he comes as car 12 crosses the line. That is Kemp in the Clio, who in the C class is in 2nd position, but he's 11th overall. And a big moment for car 30 in the bright green Fiesta there. That is right smack in the middle of the corkscrew, so ruining a number of drivers' laps here. They won't thank him for this. The final laps on the board, and a waved yellow flag going into the corkscrew. Can't find a safe moment to action a rejoin. He's trying now, and he's circling the car. So getting back and we'll get a green flag shortly, but that's a number of drivers who will have had to have lifted, and the stewards would be not impressed if we see him have a problem. We see them gain time on that lap past the yellow flags, but at the moment, with a few seconds left to go, waiting for the checkered flag to fall, Summers still holds the provisional pole position by 0.3 of a second, waiting the finish flag waver waves the flag now. That's the checkered flag, and car 71 passes through in 13th position overall in the line E36. And then as they come through, we will get the final orders. It looks like Bull, Alexander Priestland, Donovan and Kelsey will not set times on this run through. There's a Celica going through. No improvement in the into the top 12 at least as they run through the order. The only person gaining time that one was the Ginetta G40 of Dundee, car 68, who managed a personal best through there. They're entering the Corkscrew to finish off the fastest laps now. That's the Ginetta car 33. We've got an Elise, bright blue Elise behind, and they cross the line. Summers takes the provisional pole, doesn't improve. No improvements thanks to, I think, that Fiesta spin. There's the 666 entry coming through. Again, no major changes. Me will not get up onto the pole position, but will stay on the front row should everybody else follow through, and I think they will. That should be then Summers who will take the pole position for later on today, around 2:30 or slightly before. We are running slightly ahead of schedule at the moment, and it is Steve Summers from Jonathan Lee, me, on the front row. A gap of 3.5 of a second between those two. The fastest time on Summers' car was a 17.413. On row 2, we will have Alan Bull and Pottinger in the Elise versus the Clio. On row 3, Alexander and Presland. Then is McHugh. We have Donovan leading the C-Class field in P8, and the Caterham car number 2 of Grucock is in 9th position. Down into Class D leader, Kelsey in the MX-5. Car 195 is in 10th place overall, leader of his class. And then second in class for the C entries is Kemp in the Clio in 11th position. Connell wraps out the top 12 overall. We'll start second in Class D, and he is in the Mazda MX-5. So there you have the full list of entries. Kemp, Connell, Line, Baxter, Cockrell, Wright, Reed, Dundee, Burnham and Hyde, finishing out your top 20. We will have 26 entries for this this race. So the final 6 among them, Hornigold, Wells, Hart, McGeechan, Lower and Gibson will take us through for a 26 car entry for the Msvt Trackday Championship. That will be back on with us soon enough, and we will look forward to seeing you later on, but lots of action still to come.